right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Southern Discomfort. I am your host with the ghost, the paranormal pastor, Ezekiel Kincaid. And by my side tonight is my beautiful bride-to-be at some point in the future, the queen, Bethany.
Thank you for saying it like that. That just is so romantic. My
Romantic
heart literally
middle name, Mrs.
fluttering.
Wolf.
That's right up there with, I promise to stay together with you for as long as we both shall think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea forever.
Well, so do I, but still.
And let's see who we got in the chat. I see Cece, hey, and Teresa, and I saw Shannon earlier. So thank you all for stopping by and tuning in for Southern Discomfort. And we have a great show for you tonight. We're going to continue our study on psychokinesis. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up on this subject. Before I get into it in any depth, we're going to give some time for people to hop on and chat. And we also, at the end of the show, for everybody who sticks around, it is Bethany's birthday, and I have something really special planned for her.
Dear God,
So
what? Just tell me what it is.
I am not telling you. It is something very special I've been working on. Dustin knows what it is.
That's what has me worried.
Look, and here's the thing. When I told Dustin, he was like, man, this is just great. This is phenomenal. She is going to love it. So if Dustin thinks it's a good idea, then you know.
You guys thought the meth-mobile was a good idea, so.
See, that's my point. We think alike. So if Dustin thinks it's a good idea and I think it's a good idea, then
it's not a good idea.
Then it's a good idea.
It's not a good idea. I'm either going to be embarrassed, upset, or a combination of the two. What?
And see, Dustin did something special for you as well. I've got the clip for that. So we're going to do that. So y'all, after we do kind of all the announcements and the little teaching part and questions at the end of the show, we're going to have a little birthday surprise for Bethany on her birthday. So you're not going to want to miss that.
I want to miss it already.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Although I do love the flowers that you got me.
Oh, you're welcome. See, I am romantic.
In private. Not in public.
Oh. Yes, I am.
No.
Very much so. Just wait till tonight. Just wait till tonight. After what I have and what I have to say, you will never, ever say that Zeke is not romantic in public. I'll just leave it at that.
Just tell me what it is. Like, this is...
No, you waited this long. Waiting a little while longer is not going to kill you.
Okay, let me just ask you this.
Yes.
Is it going to end with me in tears of some kind?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It is not. So, just to, while we're giving a few more minutes to let everybody hop in chat, the movie, the VHS movie that I want to bring to your attention that is playing in the background here, like I told you, I'm going to do some obscure B horror movies that you might not have seen, but that you should see. Last time we did The Beast Within. This time it's this little gem for all of you supernatural, demonic, paranormal fans. This one is called The Demon, and it's from the 1980s. And I will read you what it is about. Shattering screams pierce the stillness of a country night as the residents of a small community become prey of a possessed demon-like maniac. Something inhuman terrorizes the countryside, waiting to strike at its next chosen victim. So check this out. I'm pretty sure it's streaming now. I think you can find it on Amazon. maybe even Tubi. So check this movie out. It's a good little gem that I would definitely recommend for your viewing pleasure for Halloween.
What year did it come out?
1981. The Demon. And it's probably nobody you've ever heard of that's starring in the movie, which is what I like. So just a few announcements before we kick off the show tonight. We still have some tickets available for Octagon Hall. Those of you know, Three's Company and 1Z PPR channel, we are going back to Octagon Hall on October 6th and 7th. We are going to be leading investigations. So we still have tickets on sale for that. If you can't make it that weekend, then there are also other events in October being led by paranormal teams that we can vouch for. So if you can't make it on the weekend of the 6th and 7th with us, and you can go later in the month, do it. Go to Octagon Hall, get that experience. So those tickets are available on the Octagon Hall website. I see we got Izzy with us. Thank you, Izzy, for hopping in.
I have an unrelated question. What's with the foxes at the beginning of the video?
What do you mean, what's with the foxes?
That's what shows up whenever you hit the clip at the beginning of your video.
Yeah, that's all video footage from Dustin that he's filmed.
I was just wondering what the significance of the foxes were. Because
everybody likes foxes. They're beautiful animals, except for you. You don't like foxes.
I don't like foxes. They're a rodent. They're awful. They attack cats. They attack dogs. If you have pet birds, they go after those. They're a predator.
I like foxes just because you don't.
That figures.
So, let's see. Izzy said they chunked all their VHS tapes when you moved. Lots of B-rated ones. Yeah, that sucks. I wish you still have your collection, because I would love to see pictures of it. And we got PW.
Our beautiful PW.
Let me make sure I haven't missed anybody. Izzy, CC, PW, Teresa. Okay, I think I caught everybody that is in the chat. Just to remind everybody that at the end of the show, everybody who is in the chat and who shares and likes this video, your name will be entered into the drawing, and the winner tonight gets a free issue of my Southern Discomfort horror series, dark fiction series that I do for Godless. And then at the end of our study on psychic phenomenon, I'm going to take all the winners, put them into a drawing, and the person who wins that, you are going to get free ebooks of everything that I have written to date. That's all Southern Discomfort issues, all my books, short stories, novelettes, everything that I have out there in publication, you will get. That includes my Dreadful Death series, with Theodosia and the Tetramet. So everything I have to date, you will get. The other way to win everything that I have written is to go buy a copy on Amazon of Johnny Walker Ranger Volume 2. You can get the Kindle version or the paperback. Send me a screenshot of your purchase. Send me a screenshot of when you review it, and I will send you everything. So 2 ways to win everything that I have written to date. And to share everybody, this is the latest Southern Discomfort issue for the month of September. If you like folk cult style horror, then this is a good one. All the Southern Discomfort issues on Godless are anywhere from 50 to 99 cents. So they're dirt cheap for your reading pleasure. Trying to think if I am leaving anything else out. Announcements. Dustin, if there's anything that I have left out, just go ahead and put it in the chat. See, we got Triple X Lady is with us, and Soul Watcher. Thank you all for coming by. So we are going to go ahead and get started with continuing our study and look at psychokinesis. Last week, I went through all of the laboratory testing and hit the main points of what has been done with that particular area of study. We went back from J.B. Ryan at the Duke School of Parapsychology all the way into Dean Radden's stuff that he had done with the random number generators. And what we saw is the evidence against chance is the same with telepathy and clairvoyance and remote viewing, if not more. We saw some of these studies had odds against chance 1 trillion to 1. So what I am going to do tonight, just to kind of tell you where we're heading with all of the psychokinesis stuff, because it is a very, very large category. Tonight, we are going to look at some what's called, it's a little bit of what's called anecdotal evidence, which is basically eyewitness testimony. We're going to couple that with a few more laboratory testings. And then after tonight, next week, we are going to get into poltergeist activity. And all of this falls into mind-matter interaction. Then we're going to take it a step further and look at psychokinesis with not just mind-matter interaction, but the mind with living tissue and living organisms. So we're going to get into psychic healing. And we're, we're going to look at the difference between psychic healing and then some of the miraculous healings that we have in scripture and different testimonies of people. I am actually talked to one of my good friends today. And when we do that show on psychic healing, he was miraculously healed by God from cancer. And I'm going to have him on the show, and he's going to be sharing his testimony of that. So got some cool stuff planned for y'all in the coming weeks with this whole psychokinesis thing. So that's kind of, we're going to sit on this subject for a little bit. I see we got Kenny in the chat. Welcome to the show, Kenny. Glad you have joined us and are with us tonight. So let's look at some of this stuff on psychokinesis. Psychokinesis is abbreviated PK. So when I say PK at times, know that that is what I am referring to. And, you know, being a person who likes to study religion, not just Christianity, but all sorts, you know, even the Eastern religions as well. And when we go back and look at these different religions and their testimony, we see that there's a large body of evidence concerning strange reactions of this mind and matter interaction. When we look at the presence of the saints, when we look at the presence of different gurus in the past. And so when we jump into miracles later on down the road here in several weeks, we're going to look more at this. But it's interesting when you start to look at this whole subject of mind matter and mind interacting with living tissue, of all of the different documentation in cases of saints who have been canonized by the Catholic Church, testimonies of different religious teachers in the past. You definitely see a presence of PK phenomenon in some of the recorded testimonies about these people. One instance that I can think of is Saint John Bosco. He was recorded, a saint who was recorded of actually being able to having multiplied food, just like Jesus did. There are other ones. Saint Francis of Assisi, a lot of you have heard of him. He's had PK attributed to him. Gemma Galagani, excuse me for butchering her name. I even wrote it down here and still mispronounced it. She's one you may have heard of. Another famous person who lived in 1887 to 1968, more modern times, that some of you familiar with this subject may have heard of is Padre Pio. He is famous for having the stigmata appear on his body. And so there's all of these different testimony. We're going to look, some of you may have heard of Cure de Ars. She was like late 1700s, early 1800s, lots of different phenomena attributed in their life. So we're going to hop into all of this stuff. And I bring this up with people because we're not going to focus on the saints and the religious people, but tonight we're going to focus more on when this phenomenon of PK really became popular in the public eye. So we're going to save the saints and the miracles from when we get into the psychic healing stuff. So where I want to start tonight, one of the movements that really brought psychokinesis to the forefront of modern times was the rise of spiritualism. And spiritualism has always been something in the past in religions throughout the years, but it really didn't become classified as a religion itself called spiritualism until the modern times. And this spiritualism, and you can go look this up if you want to do more in-depth reading about it, but it was started in 1847 with a guy by the name of John Fox. And those of you who have studied parapsychology or this subject in any detail, that name's going to ring a bell, because what happened with John Fox, he had a wife and then his two daughters, right? He had a daughter named Maggie, who, when what I'm going to tell you, all this started, she was 14, and the youngest daughter, Kate, was 12. And they ended up moving into this apartment in Hydesville, New York. And in 1848, after the family moved in, they reported hearing all of these strange noises throughout the house, like rappings in the wall. And the girls thought this was the coolest thing ever. So they started to try to communicate back with whatever was communicating to them. Some of the things I have here is they would hold up two fingers and ask how many fingers were there, and then two raps would come forth. Miss Fox, the wife, addressed the questions to the sounds, and her questions were answered with replies that were knocked back. And these replies, in the way that they communicated, it was supposedly a spirit, a male spirit, that was communicating with them. And this male spirit said that his remains had been buried under the house. And at that time, no body was ever discovered in the cellar. But a guy by the name of David Fox, who was the girl's older married brother, he claimed to have found, I have here, a few bones, teeth, and a few wisps of hairs. And then there's some not very well documented stuff about people talking to the spirits saying that, you know, there was a struggle that happened and they've heard bodies being dragged across the floor, and like just like heavy thumps at night. Now, what's crazy about this is, remember how we just said that the spirit that they were communicating with said that he was buried under the house. 56 years later, the Boston Journal published a report of the findings of a skeleton in the area behind a rough wall about a yard from where the true wall of the cellar was built. So this has caused people to think that, you know, maybe the Fox girls in this family were actually communicating with a spirit, because it did say it was a male, that it died and it was buried in that house. And then, you know, for years they didn't see anything. But after they had moved out and everything, 56 years later, excavation was done and they found a body right under the cellar where this male spirit said that he had been buried. And the Fox sisters, through this incident of telling what happened in their home, this reported phenomenon of talking to spirits and things like that seemed to follow the sisters wherever they went. Leah, who was their oldest sister, kind of hopped on the bandwagon with this, and the girls began to make public appearances all over the state of New York. They were in Albany, Rochester, New York City. They even went overseas to do shows in London and Russia at the time. And of course, as they got popular, you had two camps. You had the one camp that was extremely critical and said that they were fake, that the girls were making the noises somehow, either through their, you know, maybe they were double jointed and they were making popping sounds, or they were using other tricks to cause this phenomenon. Then you had the believers who said, no, this is real. And you had reports of all of these noises and things happening even when the girls were out of the home, which many people saw that as testimony that this was real. Reports of these things happening when the girls would be asleep as well. And so a lot of the believers, they didn't pay attention to the critics. They were on their side, and they believed what they were doing. And it's interesting. One of the things I found is that this spirit who supposedly commissioned them out actually gave them a message through his knockings. And this is what the spirit said to them. Dear friends, you must proclaim this truth to the world. This is the dawning of a new era. And so through this and through the Fox sisters, spiritualism arose in the United States and even all the way in England, and it became a recognized movement and religion. And, you know, even as time went on with this, like with anything, you had the extreme critics and you had the extreme believers. And the critics were saying it's fake. The believers were saying it's supernatural. Well, then the parapsychologists got involved in studying this. And they said, you know, it's neither fraud nor is it supernatural. But what they thought was going on, the parapsychologists thought that it was unconscious psychokinesis, that the girls were causing this unknowingly. And so this is where the parapsychologists landed on this issue with the Fox sisters, is that they were experiencing what is called psychokinesis. Now, when we look at all of the evidence and where a lot of people are at today with this case is they're like, it's probably a little bit of all three. The girls probably did fake stuff because Maggie, later on in life, she became just all the stress of doing these shows and being in the public eye. She became a raging alcoholic. And one day she was drunk and doing a show, and she started saying, yes, we faked everything. It was all a hoax. But then later on, she recanted that as she was close to dying and attributed it to her alcoholism and the stress, and but that there really was stuff going on. So there are a lot of people nowadays who say, yeah, there probably was a little bit of fraud. Maybe there was a little supernatural, and maybe there was a little PK. So that's kind of what I have read is kind of the consensus is it's maybe a little bit of all three that was going on with the Fox sisters. They're one of the most famous cases that really got this out into the public eye. Since then, you have had different people who have come forth with so-called PK abilities, and they have been tested by different scientists throughout the year. One of the most famous persons involved in the PK phenomenon during the 1960s and 70s was Youre Geller. Youre Geller. That may ring a bell for some of you who have studied this before. David Marks and Richard Common, they wrote an article in The Psychology of the Psychic. And they showed that not only was Geller a magician in Israel, where he was, but that he almost certainly cheated at time in his PK displays. This was admitted to Common and Marks by two of Geller's closest associates. His close associates told Geller and Mark that they told Common and Marks that they overheard Geller saying, and I quote, "Keep that guy away from me. He'll pick up my signals." So at first, everybody, after this testimony, they're thinking that Geller is definitely a fake. Well, what happens is Geller gets called in to be tested by the Stanford Research Institute. And you've heard me mention Stanford Research before. It was led by Targ. You've heard me mention Targ on the show when we've gone through the testing. And Puthoff, you've heard me mention him before in a lot of the past episodes with the testing. And so they brought Geller to the Stanford Institute, and they tested him. And Geller scored odds well above chances in his PK testing. But of course, then the critics get involved again, and they begin to criticize the testing. They even got a magician involved by the names of James Randi to be able to say, oh, this is fake. I can tell you how to do this trick. I can tell you how to do this trick. But what the people who defended Geller said is that, okay, the critics only highlighted ways that Geller might have cheated. They did not outright prove that he was cheating. So this was all just speculation of how he could have done it. So they did not show clearly that Geller cheated in any of these controlled experiments. There was another magician who got involved with this, and his name is W.E. Cox. And Cox observed Geller in a key bending experiment, and Cox held the key in his hand, and Geller made the key bend in his hand. And there are photos of that. don't. I remember seeing them in a book. I imagine you can find it online somewhere, but I know there are photos of that bended key out there. And so W.E. Cox said that, no, this Geller person does have this ability. So as you can see, as we're going along in this, you can see a mixture of reactions and stuff here with, some people thinking it's fraud, then some people having a real experience. And so the people who have experienced it said, yes, this is real. The critics would say, no, it's not real. And so we're going to see this tension, especially as we go through looking at the anecdotal evidence of these people with their PK ability. There's another guy, and you can go back and I would encourage you to go back and listen and write these names down if you're interested, so that you can go do your own research and find out more about their stories. I'm just kind of hitting the highlights for you to give you something to go on if you want to go deeper in this. There's another guy who was famous for his PK abilities, and his name was Matthew Manning. And he was tested in Canada and all these other countries, and he was shown to be able to bend nails with his mind. And there's also been recordings of Manning walking into a room, and by his very presence, objects moving around, falling over, chairs falling over other objects. And there's been no fraud as far as I am aware, and what I could find, and what I've read in books, no fraud detected in this. But I'm sure somebody out there may have found something in it. That's why I would encourage you to do more research. There's another famous one. Ingo Swann was able to make heat and temperature rise on heat sensors. There is another Lena Easted. She was able to have been recorded to be able to raise the mercury in thermometers by 4 to 5 degrees just by holding it in her hand and staring at it. There's another example I want to mention to you. Stephen North. He was a young 16-year-old schoolboy who was tested by all of these different professors of physics in the University of California, and they all came to the same conclusion that this kid did have PK abilities. This kid North was kind of one of the first famous examples after the Foxes of children being able to possess this type of ability. You've heard me mention J.G. Pratt before. He was another big experimenter in the parapsychology movement. He tested a lady by the name of Nina Kulagina from Russia, and she had been repeatedly shown to be able to move objects from a distance. So Pratt did testing on her, and according to Pratt, her ability was confirmed. There's several more examples of different children who have been tested by Pratt and all these other peoples. One of the most interesting things that I came across in looking at some of the studies that Pratt did with some other people. There was this guy by the name of Ted Sirios who was claimed to be able to put impressions on film by his PK ability. And the laboratory testing that they did with him, Pratt is able to confirm it. And then there's been examples of other people being able to do that. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that is out there. The problem with a lot of this anecdotal evidence in this testimony is a lot of it hasn't been tested. So we cannot confirm or deny these people's ability. What I presented to you tonight is people who have been tested by scientists, and it's either been confirmed or there's just kind of been this tension of, well, some people think that they do have the gift. Others say that it is fraud. So if you can go out there and research these things, you can go more in depth to these people's stories. So my goal tonight was just to present you with these cases, because there was a lot of them, and these are some of the most popular ones. And so I just wanted to give you snippets, kind of the Cliff Note versions of their life in the study that was done, just to kind of give you a starting point to be able to go and look at this and research it on your own. So those were all of the anecdotal evidences that I wanted to present to you tonight. Some extremely fascinating stuff of being able to bend things. And here's what is not debated in these studies, right? What is not debated is that the key actually bent. The nail actually bent. The debate is, how was this done? Was this a real PK, or was it some kind of fraud? And so that's what the big debate is. Nobody's denying that these things didn't happen. It did happen. People saw it with their own eyes. So the testing was done to some of these people to try to prove that it was PK. And in a lot of these instances, the testing that was done on these people proved that this was caused by a mind matter type of interaction. So that is the evidence that is out there. What you choose to do with it, whether you believe it or not, or whether you want to go study it more in depth. My goal was just to present to you the information that is out there to give you a starting point with this. So if you didn't catch all those names, just go back and once the show's over and watch this segment again and write down those names and go start to research them and see what you can pull up and to see what you can find on this particular subject. So I am going to open this up to questions now. And I'm going to go through the chat to see if I've missed anything that anybody brought up. And Bethany, feel free to give any comments or insight or anything that you want to say.
No.
No.
I'm just looking to see if you had questions.
Yeah, I am too. So we got crossover, paranormal. And no, I don't see any questions, just people talking about it, and PW helping out in the chat. Thank you, PW. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, I mean, I don't know if there's much questions to be asked about that. it was just kind of presenting the names and the information and the eyewitness testimonies and everything that I found in my research. And I was like, oh, this is cool. They'll like this. They'll like this. Let me get this snippet and throw it out there. All right. Oh, thank you, PW. I'm glad that you're helping out. Oh, thanks, Dustin. So next week we will look at poltergeist activity. It's an interesting subject, right? Poltergeist activity has been either attributed to spirits, or it has been attributed to this sort of telekinesis, psychokinesis type of phenomenon. So we will hop into that, and then the week after that, yes, Soul Watcher, I see what you said there about Padre Pio. Yes, we will talk about that a little more once we get into psychic healing and miracles in a couple weeks. Hey, Maisie Rose, welcome. Glad to have you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. So before we shift gears here to celebrate the birthday girl, I'm just going to let everybody, if there's any more questions or any more things that people wanted to add into the chat about it.
Does anybody have any personal experiences? I saw that some people said they did.
And did I miss that?
Yeah, I thought CC.
I must not scroll back far enough.
By the way, I love the look on your face, by the way.
Me?
Yes.
I'm reading the chat, Blondie.
Yeah, but you look like that meme of that woman who's kind of squatting and she's giving that look. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, you know what I have to say about that?
Okay, can we not just for one time not have the
That's what I have to say
stale
about
cigarette methmobile, please?
that. A picture is worth 1,000 words, Bethany. It speaks.
Or 100,000 miles in the case of that.
It speaks for me. So, for those of you who have stuck around at the beginning of the show, I said that it was Bethany's birthday today.
You know, we can skip this part. I'm really okay with skipping this part.
No. Now, yeah. So y'all all tell Bethany happy birthday. So
No,
Dustin
you don't have to. It's fine.
Dustin and I had something special planned. Dustin
He's insisting I turn my camera on.
Dustin had a little video that he made. I'm trying to find it, Dustin. Now bear with me.
Okay, I'm just saying, poor Bethany, it's her birthday.
All right, there it is. Here it is.
All right. So, and Dustin, my dear Dustin, let us see you for your little video and for Freak's gift.
Hello. I was told somebody has a birthday today. So me and my friends put together a little video for you. Happy birthday to you.
Wicked is the price. Why'd you run and hide? You can come inside. You're screaming like
Happy birthday.
Thank God I wasn't outside when I saw that. Thank you so much.
So, for those of you who don't know, Bethany loves creepy clowns.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
She loves.
No, I don't.
So, on the tails of that, I have something special planned for her. And I just wanted to start off by talking about just, first of all, how special Bethany is to me. She has just been, it's hard to put into words. Bethany has loved me like no human being has ever loved me before. And she makes me sense that. Like, Bethany was the first person that I have ever met that I felt like saw me and loved me for me, not for anything that I did or that I was or that I could be, but she loved me for me. And it was her love and her support that got me through my addiction, helped me overcome my addiction to alcohol. She stood by my side through all of that. She's been with me through the ups and downs of everything in my life. And so she's just extremely, extremely special. She is my Eve. She is my twin flame. And so what I was thinking is a love this special should be celebrated. And I want to celebrate it through one of the most amazing love songs that has ever been written. So I'm going to play Bethany a song and sing to her. I need to grab my guitar.
Okay. Is it a song you've done for me before?
Nope. This is a new one.
Okay.
So the song that I have planned for Bethany, this is not a very well-known love song, but it is one that is especially near and dear to me. And those of you, you may have heard of this song before. It was made popular in a certain horror movie named Insidious. And it is written by the famous actor and musician Tiny Tim, who
No,
played
please don't. No, I know what you're gonna do. No,
in
can we
Blood
not?
Harvest.
No.
And he sings in this creepy song, in this creepy falsetto voice.
Please.
So, Bethany,
This isn't necessary.
I want you to tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Can we not? Can we instead just like power run through it, please?
But to make this more authentic, if you will give me 1 second, I'm going to make this more authentic.
Please, no, please, no. Can we? Yes, I am nervous, Soul Watcher. Yes, because I know what it is. Oh, thank you, PW. Zeke, I know what. Oh no, okay, no. This really is not okay. Can we please take off the mask? You know I don't like the mask. Okay, please, can we? Okay, can we not? Okay, no, please, no, please. Can we not? No, please, like, don't.
Are you
Please,
ready?
no, please,
My
don't, please don't.
impersonation of Tiny Tim.
No, please
And
don't,
tiptoe
please
through the
don't. It's too
tulips.
weird. This is really weird.
Tiptoe
Oh God, no.
through the window that will
Oh,
through the tulips with me.
okay, yeah. Thank you so much, sweetie.
From the garden, and the willow tree. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Maybe influence will stray. We'll keep the shadows away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me?
Okay, thank you, sweetie. Can we take off the mask now? All right, please. Thank you so much, sweetie. That was so beautiful. I'm so touched. Let's see what the audio. Oh my God, what have I walked into? That's pretty much every day of my life. This is entertaining, yeah.
This is entertainment. Happy birthday, Bethany.
Thank you
Happy
so
birthday.
much for feeding every nightmare that I have.
You are most welcome.
Now, and for point of reference for anybody tuning in, he knows I'm terrified of clowns, especially Art the Clown, and that I hate that song.
Yes.
And so he wanted to make this birthday as memorable as possible.
Yes, I've been working on my Tiny Tim voice for the past couple days to
Because
make sure I get it right.
Okay, please. You know, it's like nails on a chalkboard. All right, like this. Okay, enough. Stop.
Will you tiptoe through the tulips with me?
Can I run you over in that van?
No,
With the tulips?
you don't even want it. Yes. Macy said, nothing says love like a creepy mask and a high-pitched song. Yes.
High-pitched, terrifying song. Like, I don't even know how in the hell that song was ever popular in the 70s. Yeah, that is my future spouse playing.
Yep. Yes. So,
I know.
that was all for you, my love. And you see, Dustin thought this was a great idea too. So I figured that
I can see why.
great minds think alike. So if
you both better keep in mind, I will be in town and more rested than the two of you when you guys are doing Octagon Hall.
Yeah. So
keep that in mind.
When Dustin just confirmed it, and great minds think alike. So I was like, my brother Dustin thinks it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
I can honestly say this is right up there, ladies and gentlemen, with the one year that he tried to convince people that I was a fan of Yanni and was trying to get people to buy me tickets for my birthday. Like, every year he does something to top the birthday. This year was wearing a clown mask and singing Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Yes, the Yanni thing was great.
No, it wasn't. That was just as bad.
I think somebody actually found us tickets and was going to buy them.
They did.
And I had to tell them it was a joke.
Yes, and no offense to anybody who likes Yanni. Like, you're not allowed to like what you like. It's just, I happen not to. Yanni, 351 Cleveland modified motor. Okay, Yanni, like, what are we talking here? Like spiritual elevator music, just very,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Watcher says, I actually used to listen to Yanni.
Well, no, that's just people who do. It's just that I don't care for it, but mad respect for people who do. You're allowed to like what you like.
Yeah. Like Tiny Tim.
Okay, but I don't like Tiny Tim, and I love how you take everything I don't like and you amplify it to the power of 10.
That's how you know I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really cringing at what you're going to pull when we get married.
You have to wait and see. I don't even know what I'm going to pull yet.
Oh, it's
These
going to be
things
epic, and
they just pop into my head.
I know.
I'm like, Self, that is a great idea, Self. Let's run this by Dustin.
Minus the little voice that is in most people's heads that say, maybe this is a bad idea. Okay.
I don't have that voice.
I know you don't. It's not there. It just
Dustin doesn't have it either. That's why
no. The two
make
of you
such
do
a
not
great
have that
team.
little voice. It's just gone. Instead, it's just all you guys hear is just someone chanting your name and cheering for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it, Dustin. Do it, Zeke. Okay. We'll do it. So, anything else you want to say for your birthday, Bethany?
No. Thank you, thank you and Dustin both for the amount of thought and care for my birthday. It means a lot.
You're very welcome. And just so y'all know, I don't just pick on her all the time. I do romantic things for her.
You pick on me every day. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I also do other things. I do nice and sweet things. All the poems I've written you, the flowers I send you.
That's just true.
Uh-huh. See. And don't ever say I haven't sung a song for you in public.
This is true. And actually, he's my best friend, and actually, he loves my children as much as I do, and so, yeah.
So, just to remind everybody before we close out for tonight, we are going to do our drawing for Southern Discomfort. So, I'm going to get the spinny wheel thing ready. If I can figure out how to edit this. All right, here we go. So, Bethany, I need you to tell me
Who all's in chat?
who all is in the chat. And if you have been in chat and you have liked and shared out this video, let us know in chat just by telling us yes. And we will enter your name.
Soul Watcher.
So keep
Dustin,
up.
I can't see who all liked it and shared.
Maybe Dustin can.
Yeah.
So just read them off to me, Bethany, as
I'm looking.
No PW did.
Soul Watcher.
All right,
Triple
I got
X Lady.
PW. Triple X Lady already won, so she's already in it. So she's already going to be entered into the drawing.
Oh, PW, you're so sweet.
Teresa has won as well, so she's already entered. Cops.
it. For some reason, all my comments aren't loading. Listen, what is it? So Watcher, Maisie Rose. Okay, thank you. Cops.
Okay, Maisie. All right.
So if I may ask, like, what inspired this wonderful, beautiful gift that you gave to me?
It just popped in my head. It said, do this for Bethany. I said, okay.
That sounds exactly like you.
It's not
I wouldn't
complicated.
have it any other way. You're an idiot, but you're my idiot.
It's not complicated.
No, it never
All right,
is with you.
I have Soul Watcher, PW, Cops, and Maisie. Anybody else need to be entered into the drawing
No,
to win
not
a
that I'm
Southern
seeing.
Discomfort? I'll wait another minute or so and see if Dustin finds anybody.
You know what's frustrating is I can't get back with you on your birthday because every time I do, you just like twist it and turn it around on me. It's not fair. The one time I called you Bay, that was a huge mistake.
Yep. All right, Dustin is saying that is it. So
Yes, PW, we should do a Halloween party. I already got my mask.
I already got my mask. I have several masks.
Okay, but can we not with the Art the Clown mask? And thank you so much. You have given me enough nightmare fuel to last me for the whole year.
Oh, I'm glad. I love you.
Guess who I'm going to bother when I have a nightmare tonight?
I don't know who.
And the one time that I tried to seek comfort from you for having a nightmare, and all you could say is, "You say skeleton weird."
It made you laugh and you forgot about your nightmare.
I love how that's your defense. All right.
So, Soul Watcher, PW, Cops, and Maisie. All right, we are going to give this wheel a spin. PW. All right, PW.
And actually, PW does have a good one. She said that we should do a Halloween party.
Yep. Halloween's on a Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, it is.
I say things weird.
I said it weird on purpose.
Actually, we
might could do a Southern Discomfort Halloween party.
I think we should.
So I'll get with Dustin and we can talk about what we can do for that.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you, PW.
Maybe Dustin, we can do a real life seance and summon some demons for Bethany.
I'll have PW put a curse on you.
Oh, she wouldn't do that to me.
No, she wouldn't. She's too sweet.
So, PW, just look at that godless link and let me know which issue of Southern Discomfort that you want, and I will send it to you. So there's 7 issues right now. The Halloween issue for October will be out on October 7th. And this one is going to be called Sam Hain's Diner. You will get a one-way ticket to hell, Zeke style. So be on the lookout for that one once October comes around. So I'm going to put PW on the list of winners. You know what else Bethany hates? She hates the phrase winner, winner, chicken dinner. So
Yes, I do. Ugh.
PW, you are winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yummy. That's the other. It's just a pet peeve. I don't know why.
Yummy.
Yeah. Just,
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Chicken dinner is yummy.
can we wrap up the show? Don't you have something else to like move on to?
No. But so tune in this Sunday for Sunday Shots. We are continuing our study in the book of Revelation. We are still in chapter 1. So come join us Sunday night as we do that. We're going to take some time in chapter 1 because, as I've said, if we don't understand the first chapter, it's going to send us off in a wrong trajectory for the rest of the book. So we're going to spend some extra time in there making sure that we thoroughly go through chapter 1 to get our bearings. So we're going to be doing that next Sunday. And then Dustin will be back spearheading the Monday night show, Hauntings and Beyond. So tune into that. So we'll be back to our regular lineup next week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And so I just lost my train of thought, but that's what we will be doing, Revelation. And then Dustin, remind me again what you had planned for Monday night this coming week.
And by the way, Cece, it's fine that you use winner, winner candy. Very funny. And winner, it's fine for other people. Like, I respect it. And if it brings you happiness, great. Zeke just does it to annoy me. Like, he'll say it constantly. Like,
okay, PW, you want the elevator? All right, I will get that one to you.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It's the elevator is very Twilight Zone-ish. So if you
liked it,
you will like the elevator. So I can get that one to you. So I'm waiting for Dustin to remind me of what we've got for your Monday night show coming up, buddy.
And then Octagon Hall is
the 6th and 7th of October.
So not next weekend, but the following.
Mm-hmm. Still got tickets available.
I'll be on kid duty. I'll be there, but on kid duty.
Oh, that's right. So he said a bit of everything. Night hikers. So be on the lookout for that on Monday night. It's coming Monday night. Tuesday night, we will be back looking at Poltergeist, like I have said. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you, everybody, for participating in chat. Thank you all for telling Bethany happy birthday and putting up with my terrible Tiny Tim impersonation.
It actually was pretty spot on, so yeah.
I worked on it. You were worth the effort.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. I didn't want to just do a terrible Tiny Tim impersonation.
No, actually you didn't. It was pretty spot on. It's just, it's Tiny Tim, which is ironic because he actually had a very, very pretty tenor voice. I don't know why he had to sing falsetto.
To make it creepy.
You should have a real panel of people on Halloween.
Oh, yeah. We could get Art the Clown on there, and Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Chucky, Pinhead.
I think we're looking at a Pinhead. No, actually, we aren't. Yours, it's behind you. Your poster.
No, yeah, it's back there the other way.
That's why I said
no. Bruce Campbell behind me, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead.
I don't have my glasses on.
And then we got The Howling back there and The Exorcist.
what I thought.
Soul Watcher says it was a fun time, maybe not for Beth.
It was.
Maisie, the shows on Sunday night starts at 8 Eastern, and then the Monday and Tuesday night shows are usually like 9:30 Eastern.
Yep.
So Dustin's got it up there. CC
But
said,
seriously, thank you guys for making my birthday very special, and I love you guys.
I love you too, baby. And just a big thank you for everybody tuning in tonight and hopping in on chat. And if you want to stick around for the closing of the show, we always do an inspirational video that Dustin has put together for us that we like to always end on a positive note. That's the thing about this show. We do everything we do with integrity, with love. We want to leave you feeling lifted up and encouraged, and maybe make you laugh a little bit and learn something along the way. So thank you, everybody, and please stick around for the video, and we will see y'all next time.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind?